Are you struggling to get results from your social media? Okay, I just got this question a couple days ago on Facebook, on our group, and I wanted to give a thoughtful response. And the first thing I want to tell you is do not give up on organic social, because the next step after that is swapping dimes for clicks. And paid social media, paid search is very expensive. So if we can nail your organic, you're going to be making way more money and it will scale with your business. So the first thing we're going to do this morning is we are going to find a principle that is guiding everything that you do, every customer touch point, a guiding light for everything that you do in your marketing department. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to group all of your potential customers, your prospects, into the stages that they are at in the customer journey. And then we are going to write content that just slays for each one of those different groups. And we are going to make sure that we are including calls to action that is appropriate for where they are in the customer journey. So step one, what is this guiding principle that is going to govern the touch points that you use going forward? And what I like to call this is outcome alignment. You are going to find the customer outcome that your best prospects desire most. And you need to make sure that it is an outcome that your company delivers on better than anybody else. And you are just going to obsess over this. And when people check your social feeds, they need to be convinced that you are the one who cares more about them achieving that desired outcome than anyone else in your space. This means that all of your employees need to care more about them achieving that desired outcome than anybody else. This means that all of your customer touchpoints need to lead with that. It needs to talk about any solution, transformation, anything you're talking about within the lens of them getting one step closer to achieving that desired outcome. Desired outcome can also be called transformation depending on the industry you're in, but if you have a transformational product or service, then we're talking about like the desired transformation, but most importantly, the end point of that transformation. You want your company's brand to be directly associated with the outcome your customer desires. And the reason for that is not everybody's ready to buy today. A lot of times people need to have that enough is enough moment. And when they experience that emotion, you want them to scroll through their socials trying to find you because they remember your content directly addressed the desired outcome, and they are sick and tired of being at point A and they need to be at point B. That's when they spend money. So now let's group all of your potential customers, your prospects, into the different points along the customer journey. First thing people tend to do is they will research. They're going to reach that transformational trigger, which is that I need to change, enough is enough. Once they reach that point, the first thing people tend to do is they search for a free solution to get them there. They want a shortcut. You need to have a ton of content out there for those people because that is the largest group of people out on social media or the internet just searching. So make sure that you have SEO in place for all of this as well. But what you want to do first is make sure that you understand what it is that they're searching for when they are in this stage of their customer journey. There are a couple tools out there that help with this. Neil Patel has a tool out there called Answer the Public, which is good. You can also go to TikTok's Creator Insights, and they have a search field there where you can just search for your industry or your outcome, and it will give you some really good ideas on where the content gaps are. So you can find something that is an extremely high demand that people are trying to learn about that doesn't already have a ton of content out there that addresses that question. So the appropriate call to action for all of your social posts within this segment are going to be a lead generation of some kind. You need to have a lead magnet or something that you are sending people to for the next step of that customer journey. Very few companies can send people directly to a sell page and expect it to convert. You still need to gain these people's trust. They need to like you. So the first thing you want to do when you're in this situation is send people to that landing page. And what I recommend for a lead magnet, it has to be outcome aligned. So make sure you are giving people something that is going to get them one step closer to achieving that desired outcome, but not quite all the way. And feel free to put your secret sauce into this. You want to give them a taste of what makes you unique and your solution unique. I recommend putting this lead magnet behind an email form, so they need to sign up for an email that will send them this information. That ensures that you get the correct email address and you can start nurturing them. What I mean by that is trigger some automated emails that help them get to the next step in the funnel. Because guess what? You just built a funnel. The next thing that you're going to be asking them for is to buy your product, which are offers which will come in the next step. So now that we've talked a little bit about the appropriate call to action for people at this stage of the customer journey, let's talk a little bit about the content. I recommend you tell transformational stories. People love storytelling, and if they could see other people that are similar to them walk the same path that you're recommending they walk, that always ends up at point B, which is the outcome, which is what you own. So start with those. Another thing you could do is tips. So any kind of industry tip is great. Just make sure that you write the tips in such a way that you are leading with what the desired outcome is, and then you tell them how to get there through these industry tips. So that should be about 80% of your social posts. So for every 4 of these posts where you're giving tips, information, stories, then you pop in one of your offer posts. So this is for the group that is already pretty well researched. They've already checked all the different options, and they're starting to look for a solution that, and they've also come to the realization they need to pay for this. It's probably not something they could do on their own. So when they reach that phase, these are really hot leads and you want to make sure that you convert them. So let's talk about the appropriate call to action. I think you probably can guess what it is. It is take advantage of our offer and buy now. If you want a killer offer, you are also going to outcome align your offer. So create your offer in such a way that delivers them their desired outcome either sooner, for less money, in greater quantity. So you see what I'm saying here? You want to make sure that you dangle that desired outcome and you do it in such a way where they just get a lot more out of it for the same amount of money, or maybe a little bit less. As for what content you should be posting to attract this type of person who's already in this lower stage of the funnel and is ready to buy, I recommend putting testimonials in there. And at the end of the testimonial, this is when you deliver your offer. The offer always should be time sensitive, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. You need some FOMO in there, some fear of missing out, to get people to act. So testimonials are absolutely wonderful to kind of frame that the likely outcome, so they feel like they will likely experience the same transformation. Another thing I would like you to be posting is you need to start talking about, and this is you on camera if you can do it, you need to start talking about how your method of getting to this outcome is better than anybody else's, because right now they're probably evaluating you against some other alternatives. And things you should be talking about are ways that you transform them into this final outcome that are less painful than everything else, or faster, or something like that. How is your transformation much, much more amenable to them than any other type of transformation? There probably are free options out there, but it might not get them quite to the desired outcome that they're looking to achieve. So you need to explain to them and convince them that your method of transforming them to this desired outcome is going to get them, deeper into the outcome they desire. It's going to happen quicker. It's going to be less painful. So do some research on what type of pain points people generally have, especially ones that are perceived. If they think, well, it's just too much, like I can never achieve that because it's going to cost me this, this, and this. You need to make sure you address all of those perceived pain points in these social posts, and then just hit them with an offer. If they feel like they can get their desired outcome without the pain that's associated with it, and you're hitting them with a FOMO offer, you'll sell. What's great about all of the types of posts we're talking about is they are evergreen. If you have a social media tool that does this, you can repurpose that content. Just have it go out whenever there's a gap in your schedule. You want these things to be posting. I highly recommend you also use YouTube, not just social media, because all of these videos and posts, they are extremely valuable to people when they're at that point of the customer journey, and you never know when that's going to happen. So when it does, YouTube is the second largest search engine. If you have a video out there mapped to every stage of the customer journey, you will win. Just make sure you have the proper calls to action in your description, and it's the ultimate YouTube strategy as well. I would also repurpose all of this content into really great blog posts that are connected directly to your primary domain, because now you've got an SEO strategy. behind all of this work that you put in that is really effective. When people reach that moment where they have to change, you want them to find your content, you need to hit them with a great offer, and you will win. So good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys put out there.